everyone, and welcome back to Scooping Poop with Vivian. It's been a while since I've actually sat down in front of my camera and filmed. It's been about 2 weeks because I am a lazy piece of garbage. And sorry for any kind of video delay or inconsistencies within my schedule. I've been really busy lately and I'm sorry. But today I actually have a very interesting story time for you guys. It's a story about how my bunny almost died. That sounds bad. No, actually, it's bad. But the reason why I'm so chill and casual about it is because now he is completely okay. Doodle, my little darling boy, is completely fine. I swear to you, he is going to be okay. He's chill. So that's why I'm so light about telling this story. But during the actual process, it was an emotional roller coaster where sometimes I was like, just, you know what? I'll just get into it. Oh, by the way, do you like this little painting I did? It's a painting of my pocket-sized opossum. A video on that is coming out soon, but I'm really proud of it. Okay, so this story starts off about 2 to 3 weeks ago, where basically I realized that Doodle, my male rabbit, was acting a bit strange. Now, usually he is an idiot. Like, he is an absolute clown. He will jump around everywhere. His ears literally flap like all the time, like he's a bird. And he's just filled with energy and is always like, has crazy eyes. But one day when I found him, he was in his playpen with his sister Meadow, and Meadow was acting fine, you know, acting like the sweet little dumb girl she is. But then Doodle was sitting on the floor like a spread out loaf, and I thought that was normal. But the thing is, when I called their names, they didn't come. Now, usually they do because they think I have bananas in my hand or something. But Doodle never ever ignores me when I call his name. So I found that a bit strange, but I didn't think too much of it because, you know, sometimes they are asleep, and rabbits can actually sleep with their eyes open. So that's disturbing. But I just assumed he was asleep, right? Fast forward to a couple hours later, I went to check on them again. And this time I brought some lettuce with me so I can give them a little snack. Now, I presented the lettuce to Meadow. She came up right to the bars of the cage and started munching and crunching. But Doodle was actually sitting towards the back of the cage in a little tent play hide thing I had. And he was sitting there loafing in the same position, but he looked really stiff and uncomfortable. So I was really concerned, but I just, again, assumed that, you know, he was having a bad day because sometimes rabbits do have, you know, their moments. But I just went in and I started petting him on his head and he did not respond. And his ears were pressed tightly against his face. And I was thinking at that point, something is wrong. He's in pain or uncomfortable. So I offered him some lettuce, and this is the moment where I realized something got fucked up. I gave him lettuce and he refused to eat it. He even refused to smell it. And Doodle will eat anything and everything. Most rabbits do. But the fact that he didn't respond to food was a immediate bing, 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 like something is wrong alerts in my brain. So what I did was I took him out and I started feeling his body temperature, if he was overheating or if he was really cold. Luckily, his body temperature seemed normal, but the thing is his stomach felt so bloated, like a balloon. Like, you could just imagine, like, this bunny is literally just round. Like, it felt like his stomach was filled with hot air. Like, it was so bad. And so I freaked out and decided, you know what? This is probably a good time to give him some dimethicone. No, not dimethicone. No, some simethicone. Simethicone? It's simethicone, right? Anyways, what it is, it's baby medicine. Now, it's supposed to help relieve gas in the infants, and technically, because it never gets absorbed through the bloodstream, you can't really overdose it when it comes to rabbits. So I decided to feed him a syringe full of simethicone because what it can do is help relieve gas pain and also keep him more comfortable. And in the meantime, I was figuring out what to do. So I was offering him small amounts of food such as pears and also bananas, trying to see if he would eat anything, but he refused. And I don't know if you guys can relate at all, but as a pet owner, when your animal refuses to eat, it's just absolute chaos because there's nothing you could do about it. So what I decided to do was I was going to just calm down and make a vet appointment for the next morning. So I tried to contact my local rabbit vet. However, the situation was this specific vet that can treat rabbits wasn't going to come in until Thursday. And so I obviously knew that was no longer an option. Instead, I contacted a different rabbit hospital that was a little bit further, but I hoped I could get an appointment by tomorrow. But the thing is, by then their call hours had closed, so I had to send an email, but I didn't know how fast I would be able to exchange with, making a schedule and making my appointment in time. And at this point, I am certain that Doodle's going through GI stasis. So if you are new to bunny keeping, you probably don't know what GI stasis is, but it's referred to as the silent killer. Now, what happens is that the gastrointestinal tract of a rabbit slows down or stops completely. So what happens is that their gut stops moving, they stop pooping, they stop eating, and gas starts to form within their intestines and bacteria can build up, and it's just not a good thing. Now, GI stasis itself isn't necessarily an illness, but it's more like a symptom of another underlying cause. And at this point, I wasn't completely sure why he was acting this way. But the thing is, if GI stasis is not treated within 12 to 24 hours, your rabbit could literally just die. So obviously, I was full on panicking, crying, because I just didn't know what to do. And then I realized that I'm going to take my bunny to the emergency room. Not a human emergency room, obviously, but luckily in Houston, there is a 24/7 animal hospital that treats exotics. And honestly, without this hospital, Doodle would probably be dead, honestly. So what happened was I just take Doodle and I shove him in a carrier, and it's 11 p.m. and we're driving him to a rabbit hospital. So I go in and they're immediately asking me what's going on and stuff. And so I'm telling them that Doodle probably has GI stasis. And then the vet tech is taking Doodle away. And then the receptionist is asking, oh, what's that? Referring to what GI stasis is. I need to tell the vet. And the vet tech looks at the carrier, looks back at her and was like, it's a rabbit. So I kind of already knew that, once you get to the vet, your chances are pretty good. We end up waiting in the vet emergency waiting room for a couple of hours, I would say, and then we went to a smaller room. Now the vet comes in and immediately I recognized her because she was the same vet that actually helped out Meadow when she had her dental issues. So that was kind of awkward, hi, I have another sick animal, please help me. So we immediately start talking about why Doodle's acting this way and what are the possibilities. And then suddenly something in my brain just clicked. Rat food. Doodle broke into a bag of rat food. Okay, so yes, just what? Am I a horrible owner? Maybe. So basically what happened is that I think they knocked over a bag of rat food. And when we found them, there was rat food all over the floor and we saw them eating a couple of pellets, but we didn't think it was excessive amount. We removed it immediately, right? And so any rabbit owner would know that rabbits really can't digest carbohydrates, things like grains and corn and stuff like that. And that's what primarily rat food is made out of. So obviously that was going to cause an issue. However, at this point, I didn't know how much rat food he had eaten. But judging by the way his stomach felt, it was probably a higher amount. And Meadow also did eat small amounts of rat food, but Meadow has a gut of steel. So nothing did happen. However, I did take some precautionary, actions in order to make sure she didn't go into GI stasis as well. So obviously right now I'm literally burning with guilt at the fact that my rabbits got into rat food. But basically the vet was saying that that is a high possibility, but another possibility is an obstruction. Basically, something's in their gut and something has exploded and everything's gonna go to hell. So at this point, we kind of went over, budget stuff. I personally don't have pet insurance, but I probably have to get pet insurance. So things were pretty pricey at this point. And so we decided to go with a more low budget option. So we're not doing anything like x-rays yet because we have to sedate Doodle and that brings its, other dangers. So we decided to wait and see what would happen. So basically I went home, but before I went home, the vet actually asked me if I wanted to say goodbye to Doodle. So I'm literally standing in the lobby of a pet hospital holding my bunny and crying. Doodle. And he looked so sad, and I was just holding him. And then this random, like, old lady walks up, and he's like, what's wrong with Bunny? And I just like, gah. Anyways, I went home, and right before I'm about to fall asleep, the vet calls me, and I pick up the phone, and then she says, she's getting worse. So apparently his stomach had grown even bigger. And at this point, I'm thinking like, I'm literally just, imagine somebody calling you and being like, yo, your bunny is literally ballooning up with hot gas. I'm freaking out, but we decided that the best option to do was to wait for the rabbit specialist to come in the morning a few hours later. So I'm still waiting for results, and I'm just freaking out because at this point I know that it's likely it might be an obstruction and he might have to get x-rays and surgery, and I just, So basically what happened was that later that morning, the vet specialist actually called me and told me that Doodle was feeling better, and that at that point the chances of it being obstruction or something more serious had already gone down. They say that he wasn't eating, but he was being force fed, and that he was given fluids and his stomach feels less swollen. So at this point I'm feeling better, right? And as the day goes on, I get another call saying that, yes, baby finally took a shit. Basically, when a rabbit goes into GI stasis, the goal you want to get with treatment is that they're eating and crapping out Cocoa Puffs. And at this point, I am screaming with happiness in public because my vet just told me that my rabbit took a crap. And I am so happy, and that he could come home today. So basically, he had to spend overnight in the hospital, and we had expected him to have to stay another night, essentially doubling the costs. But because he pooped and he's eating and he's feeling so much better, I could take him home. And so at that point, we're pretty freaking sure that it is actually GI stasis caused by the rat food instead of something more serious. And at this point, I am so happy. So later that day, I went to pick him up and I actually have some footage. Okay, so we just got out of the hospital and we're currently driving home. I actually have Doodle on my lap. The only issue is that Doodle is not very happy right now because he's actually covered in his own pee. Now, they gave him a pad liner on the bottom of the cage, but he peed so much that it soaked through, and there's actually a hole at the bottom of the pad liner, and so now I'm covered in pee. I don't know how well you guys can see, but all of this, that's not a shadow. That's piss. And it came from this little boy. Huh? He looks so sad in there. It's gonna be okay, okay, baby? I love you. Hey guys, sorry about the hair. I just got out of the shower, but I just saw Doodle sitting in his litter box eating hay. This is the first time I've seen him eat since he's gotten home. It's been about 2 hours, I guess, since he's been home, and you know, I've been watching him and he hasn't been eating, and I was freaking out, but I just saw him eat hay and I'm so happy. So anyways, for a couple of days after that, I had to feed him medications. I had 2 painkillers and something that was anti-inflammatory, and also a gut protectant. I wasn't exactly sure what that was, but I gave him the medicine and now he is completely fine. Like, it's as if nothing had happened. But I decided that this video would be really important so that you guys can know if your rabbit stops eating and stops pooping for over 12 hours, it is essential that you rush them to the emergency hospital. Now, I'm not gonna lie, without insurance, all of the bills added up was around $800, which, yeah, I think I might get pet insurance at this point. But luckily, Doodle is completely okay and is feeling a lot better. And now I know to definitely make sure that rat food or anything is completely out of his reach, because I did not know that rabbits could jump that high and knock shit over. So I obviously feel really bad, but luckily I've learned from this mistake and Doodle is completely fine. And I hope that this video helps out anyone who might be going through something similar or who has experienced something like this before. So yeah, this was kind of a blurry story time, but I decided that, you know, it would be cool to kind of share, no, not cool. It would just be interesting to share my experience about how my bun almost died. But I promise Doodle's okay, and I'll get footage of him right now. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!